Hello and good evening. Welcome to my English coaching class. I'm an English teacher, Shayyid Ashikur Rahman. Students, I hope everyone will be in good mood, good state. So you'll be having a color in your life, you'll be enjoying your life. So with these colors, I'll talk about that we were discussing that colorful chapter known as Indigo. And we have completed part 1, part 2 line-wise explanation. And I have already taken the one session of introduction class where I have explained the introductory idea about the chapter. So today I am going for the part 3 line-wise explanation of the chapter. So before going for the bringing the same screen where I have stopped the last, so just before going for that session, I want new users, those who are watching my channel, don't forget to subscribe it and don't forget to press the bell icon, thumbs up. Okay, so just share and care as much as possible. Do share to everyone. Okay, so next screen you'll be seeing the chapter where I was doing. Okay, yes. Students, we have stopped in our last class here where Gandhiji was summoned to appear in the next day court. Okay, yeah, before just going for proceeding from here, just I'll go to let me do it a quick recapitulation and sum up what we have discussed in our last class. In our last class, that very beginning, Louis Fischer, the author, the narrator, meets Gandhi and in 1942, and he asked him about his journey of making Britishers out. How did he begin? So the beginning episode starts when he was describing the session of Champaran. Okay, and he meets Rajkumar Shukla in a conference, a meeting that he was attending. It was conducted by National Congress. So it's in 1916 December. So during that time, he meets Rajkumar Shukla. He is a common man, we can say, like a common man, we can say farmers, as they used to be the same category, poor, lean and thin, weak. Similarly, that during that time, the farmers used to be, he was the same kind. So he was very much determined, he was very much focused, he was very much strict, and he adhered his attention to take Gandhi, to persuade Gandhi to take to his own place. So he joined Gandhi and he finally convinced him. He took a date and he waited in Calcutta and he took him to Bihar, Patna, where they visited to Rajendra Prasad's house, and Rajendra Prasad was missing and they got a different treatment. As Rajendra Prasad was missing, they thought Gandhiji is even as a yeoman or what we can say farmer, or same a friend of Rajkumar Shukla. Okay, so seeing these episodes, Gandhi understood what is the information shared by this Rajkumar Shukla. He want to know more, he want to collect more information. He visited to Muzaffarpur. After visiting Muzaffarpur, he collected certain informations. He arranged his people, those who can support him. Okay, he arranged that segment in Muzaffarpur, and after meeting with the lawyers, he motivated the people of Champaran that this is not going to work. This is not going to work. Means students that paying money and going to court, it is not a suggestion. It's only the solution is what? If these people will throw fear out of their mind. If these people will throw the fear out of their mind, then there will be some solution. There can be some solution to their problem. So here, students, what happened? So further, Gandhi continued his journey. He, after collecting those informations, motivating these people, and he landed down to Champaran. Okay, he landed down to Champaran. And after coming to the Champaran, he visited two places where he was restricted. He was asked him to, you may go, you are not, you don't belong to this place, you are outsider. So he was not allowed. But still he did not stop. He visited to Motihari. And after visiting Motihari, he made a house as a headquarter. From there, when he got that nearby place, one of the followers or one of the peasants is in trouble. So is in trouble, what did he do? He started moving to pay his visit to peasant. So in this episode, when he started moving, the messenger, here we are able to see the same here, the messenger drove Gandhi home from he served him an official notice when he was going towards the Motihari and to meet that man, and in that time he saw whom? What? Gandhi was noticed, and he asked immediately quit Champaran. So Gandhi signed a receipt for notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. So Gandhi's philosophy, Gandhi's system was quite different. He did not disobey, he did not rejected, he accepted his notice, and in that notice he wrote it down that he would not obey the order, he will disobey the order. So in consequence to it, Gandhi received a summons to appear at the court the next day. That was the result. Next day, Gandhi was asked to reach to the court. And I hope students still here we have done it. And there's a mark I have given here. Okay. So next, today we'll proceed from here. All night, Gandhi remained awake. All night, Gandhi remained awake. He telegrammed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar with influential friends. So he write it down to Rajendra Prasad. You know, already there was an encounter, there was a meeting program arranged with Rajendra Prasad. So now there is some connection developed. So Rajendra Prasad was not aware that Gandhi paid his visit to his house. But, okay, so right now being Gandhi, he's writing a letter to Rajendra Prasad. Okay, he sent instructions to Ashram. He wired a full report to Viceroy. He has even written a report to Viceroy. He sent a report to Viceroy about the situation, what is happening. So he arranged all the settings. He settled everything. Then he started movement further. He started going further. Okay. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. Morning found the town of Motihari black with peasants. See, the night, what he took the steps. In the morning, the scenario is different. Okay, in the night, he arranged all the settings, he arranged everything, and in the morning, the scene is quite different. So what happened, students? They did not know Gandhi's record in South Africa. These people were not aware. They did not know Gandhi's record in South Africa. But Rajendra Prasad and his influential friends means as his supporting poor people means peasants. Similarly, those supporters, those influential advocates need to be joined with or to be bought by Rajendra Prasad. That was his intention. That was his message by Gandhi to Rajendra Prasad. So here, so these people were not aware that Gandhi's record in South Africa. They had merely heard a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. They only know that mere information, the little information they were having, that a Mahatma who wanted to help them was in trouble with the authorities. See, someone want to help you, definitely will support him or her. Similarly, these people heard that the Gandhiji is their supporter. Gandhiji want to work for them, definitely that's the reason they stood up and they joined or they took the movement towards Gandhiji. Their spontaneous demonstration in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of the liberation from fear of British. Just students underline here, it was the liberation from fear, means it was a state of being released or free from the fear of British. Their fear was the British, the powerful. That fear was the Gandhi's first intention to bring out. So he developed it, and people came in thousands, in a mass, in a group, and that was his first success that he wanted to bring out. He wanted to throw out the fear from the mind of the Indians during that time, the people of Champaran, poor peasants. He did it. Okay. So I hope students you understood till here what I have explained right now. I hope all of you have understood. Yes, quickly reply to me, everyone. I did it, the recapitulation of what I have taught. Yes, very good. Very good. I got someone messaged here. Yeah, very good, Pritish. Very good. Yeah, next one who is there. Yeah, Anu, very good. That's good. That's good. I hope everyone understood. The official felt powerless. The officials see when 1,000 will be there against somebody, against some few people, then what will happen? Mask never is going to be punished. mass will give the punishment to other. So the same situation Gandhi has created. The official felt powerless without Gandhi's cooperation. Now they need Gandhi's cooperation. Gandhi will be helping them, not they will keep trouble to Gandhi. Okay, they cannot throw Gandhi from that place. So he was polite and friendly. He was giving them correct, concrete proof that their might hitherto treated unquestioned could be challenged by Indians. And I just do students underline here. Yeah, he was. Yeah, what is happening here? He was polite and friendly. Who? Gandhiji. How was he? He was polite and friendly with the people, the mass. He was giving them concrete proof that their might hitherto, means there will be some question, dreaded and unquestioned, would be challenged by Indians. Means unquestioned means this part have never been questioned to these Britishers. So unquestioned part will be challenged to them by Indians. So we are going to challenge to these Britishers that the Gandhiji explained in a very polite and friendly manner to the gathering, and he was the hero, or he was a bravo, he was the champion of that gathering. Okay, students? Government baffled, government was shocked, he was shaking. Okay, the prosecutor requested the judge to postpone the trial. The process of asking questions, the prosecutor, the against one, the Britishers one, they restrict, no, let's postpone, let's do some other day. Apparently, the authorities wished to consult their supporters. Apparently, the authorities immediately, or judge cannot immediately take a decision, because the Britishers have the power, the queen power was there, and there were some heads in the local part. They, without their decisions, even judge cannot take any decision. Okay, so he was not able to cancel. So he need to consult to the superiors. Okay, I hope all of you understood till here. Gandhi protested against the delay. So he's a lawyer. He know the system. He understand what is the high time here. He understand what is the high time here. So he was involved. He told the court in a conflict of duties. Okay, students, you have read in civics, duty and rights and obligations. As per grammar, obligation is something, duty is something, right is something different. So conflict between duties. What is his duty? One, on the one hand, not to set a bad example as a lawyer. Okay, not to set a bad example. I told you Gandhiji was a lawyer as a lawbreaker. Okay, so not to set a bad example as a lawbreaker, means he did not obey the law. He accepted the notice and wrote it as, I won't obey you. Okay, so what was his duty? To see the patient, to see his poor peasant, to work for the Indians, and at the same time he cannot obey their orders. So on the other hand, to render the humanitarian and national service. So he was doing the humanitarian and national service, for which he had come. That's the reason he is there in Champaran. Okay, understood? What is the reason Gandhiji is present? Gandhiji is present for the humanitarian and a national service. Got it clear, all of you? This is the reason he paid his visit in Champaran, and he was working for the people. What he was doing? Humanitarian and national service, for which he had come. He disregarded the order to leave. He disregarded, he did not regard, he did not give concern. Means he disregarded the order to leave, he did not obey, he restricted, he disobeyed the order. Not for want of respect for lawful authority, not for want of respect for lawful authority, but in obedience to the high law of being, our being, the voice of conscience. The voice of inner conscience was pressed. The Indians' voice was pressed. They were not allowed to speak. That what was done, he want that should be raised again. He want people should start speaking, people should start doing their work, and their rights, their freedom should not be stopped. Yeah, I hope students you understood what was the Gandhi's purpose, what was the Gandhi's intention to be there, to serve, to help people. Okay, that's why he's describing what was his duty, what was his conscience, what inner feeling. Okay, what was his inner feeling, what is his priority, and what he should do. Okay, the voice of conscience being the voice of conscience. So what was his priority? He shared that into the court. He asked the penalty due. So he has committed mistake. He did not obey the law. He did not obey the system. So he wants that there should be penalty charge. Okay, so understood, he know the rules. So that's why he asked there should be penalty charge. So yeah, the magistrate announced that he would pronounce sentence for a 2-hour recess and asked Gandhi to furnish bail for those 120 minutes. Try to understand point here. Okay, what was the magistrate announced? That he would pronounce sentence for 2-hour recess. Means he is giving 2-hour recess, 2-hour break. Within this 2 hour, you are going to prison and you apply for bail. Okay, for those 120 minutes. Gandhi refused. See the tricky process, how the judge is giving tricky thing. See, once someone is going to the jail or 120 minutes and he's going for process of applying bail, it will take more than 120 minutes. If he's not able to do it, he'll be kept for 24 hours. So see the trick of the judge. See, indirectly he want to send the Gandhi instead in the prison. Okay, so Gandhi refused. See, Gandhi knows the rules. Okay, Gandhi understands the system. So Gandhi refused. The judge released him without bail. Okay, Gandhi refused. I am not going to go anywhere. I am here for this 120 minutes. Whatever you want, you do it with me. My people and I am here. So he did it. And without the bail, he told, come on, you go, man. I cannot tolerate you. So the scene was over. This was a system, means peaceful system of Gandhi. This is the real hero, the real man. What we can say that is about Gandhiji, what we can talk about Gandhiji. It's unpredictable, it's unimaginable that this man, we can't, if we'll start talking about Gandhiji, we will take years to discuss, years, not hours, years. Okay, I'm not talking years because that man is the different one. So the same one, we are reading an episode, a chapter. Okay, so see what happens, students, when the court reconvened, the judge said he would not deliver the judgment for several days. When the court was rejoined, was back again. Okay, and he would not deliver the judgment for several days. He stopped giving the judgment because if he'll do something mistake, it will be a blunder, and it will be a blunder, and due to which he will be in trouble. So he stopped saying any judgment for several days. Meanwhile, he allowed Gandhi to remain at liberty. He allowed Gandhi to be free. Whatever he want, he can do it. Understood, students? He did not revolt. He did not make any violence. He did not do anything. But he was released. He was made free. Okay, understood, all of you students? Next. Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazrul Haq, and several other prominent lawyers. Understand the second phase. Gandhi, first, see how many times Gandhi was arrested, how many times Gandhi was summoned. First time he was noticed, he accepted a notice, and he said, I won't obey. So that's the reason he was summoned. He was summoned in the court. Okay, understood, students? So now see the second phase, what happens here. So he has written a telegram, and the people with the same like mind, Rajendra Prasad and the other like mind people visited, was back or was joined Gandhi. Okay, so from Bihar, they arrived from Bihar. So they conferred with Gandhi. What would they do if he was sentenced to prison? So Gandhi's first question was, if he is sentenced to prison, who? Gandhi. Gandhi was taken to the prison jail. What these people will do? This was the first question directly asked by Gandhi to that group of people. So why the seniors lawyer replied? Okay, why means they asked, why you are asking this kind of question? They had come to advise and help him. So they are here to advise. Yeah, that's the fact. They are here to advise Gandhi and help Gandhi. If he went to jail, there would nobody to advise, and there would nobody would go home. They would go home. That's a word. Common answer. Very commonly they have given the answer. They did not thought of the event what Gandhiji is doing. Okay, they answered. Okay, they did not think of the future. They did not think about the Gandhiji. Why? If I'll go to jail, what you will do? If you are not here, I'll go to my home. Very commonly, anyone can answer this common answer. Okay, but see the Gandhi's technique. Gandhi is asking next question. What about the injustice to the sharecroppers? Gandhiji demanded. What about that? The lawyers drew to consult. Yeah, that's perfect. What about that? We are here for that also. Rajendra Prasad has recorded the upshot of their consultation. Rajendra Prasad has made it a written proof. They thought amongst themselves that Gandhi was totally a stranger. Got my point? For Bihar people, Gandhiji was stranger. He belongs to Gujarat. He belongs to different state. And for them, Gandhi was a stranger. And yet, he was prepared to go to prison for the sake of the peasants. He was ready to go to jail for the sake of peasants if they, on the other hand, being not only resident of adjoining district, but also those who claim to have served these peasants should go home, it would be shameful desertion. Okay, it's a shameful act. We claim we are helping peasants, we claim we are standing with them, we are advocating them, we are helping them, and if he is going to jail, we are going home. It's really a shameful act. Got my point, students? Understood the scene here? So this is the discussion happened, and they come to the conclusion. They accordingly went back to Gandhi and told him they were ready to follow him to jail. Got my point? So he also arranged here his followers. If he is going to jail, 5 to 6 people are there, prominent people like speakers, writers, educated people. Education is all the solution. See, he's collecting educated people, not uneducated people, not illiterate people. He's collecting the educated people who can stand with them. So he collected, he arranged them, and they were ready to follow him to jail. If he's going to jail, they are also coming to the jail. He said, the battle of Champaran is on. That's done. Game is over. Thing is done. Okay. See the technique how Gandhiji is dealing with the situation. Okay. He claimed. Then he took a piece of paper, divided the group into pairs, and put down the order in which each pair was to quote arrest. So he said, if I am getting arrested from XYZ place, you make your individually 6 to 7 people were there, you make a group, and with different groups also you come and get arrested. So that was the Gandhi's plan. And if he said it, if you are getting arrested with me, as I am going to jail, you are coming to the jail, then the battle of Champaran is on. Their game is over, and we have won the battle. Understood? I hope students you have understood till here. Yes, things are clear till here, students. I hope everything is clear till here. I need reply, students. Things are clear. Yeah, very good. Yeah, Pritesh, very good. Very good. Anup, Shayan, very good. Yeah. Anyone has any doubt till now? You can ask me. You can ask me. Clear your concept right now, because later on question mark will become like a bomb. You cannot answer each and every question. Very good. Very good. All are with yes. I hope all are able to understand. The students, those are attending all, I hope all are able to understand. Yes, very good. Next, several days later, next phase starts. Next phase. Several days later, Gandhi received a written communication from the magistrate informing him that the lieutenant governor of the province had ordered the case to be dropped. Mark it down. Okay, several days later, immediately the Britisher did not take any action. And after that, a written communication came from the magistrate. The lieutenant governor, okay, the general governor of the provinces had ordered the case to be dropped. The civil disobedience movement trimmed, means the case that was filed against the name of Gandhi was dropped, and Gandhi won the first battle. Gandhi was able to challenge the British, and in a peaceful manner, he took a lead. Okay, the first time in modern India. Peacefully, the Britishers were lower down and Indians were superior. Understood, students? Next, Gandhi and the lawyers now proceeded to conduct a far-flung inquiry. So now they set up a inquiry into the grievance of farmers. What is the farmers' problem? What is the problem of the farmers? Which depth into the roots they went in? Deposition by about 10,000 peasants were written down, means with the proof, written proof, and notes made on other evidence. And other part, events were made, records were made, reports were made, and documents were collected. The whole area throve with the activity of investigators and the vehement protests of the landlords. Now the vehement, strong protest was there from the landlords, and investigation was going on, and due to this activity the people were shaking, Britishers were disturbed. What is happening? Okay, so next what happens, let's see. In June, Gandhi was summoned to Sir Edward Gate. In June, who summoned it? Sir Edward Gate, the Lieutenant Governor. Here the Lieutenant Governor, he summoned Gandhi again for the second time. First time he was summoned by the messenger for the court. He should be there to the court. He was signed a notice, then he denied it. That was the first summon. This is the second summon. Okay, and here Edward Gate. Before he went, he made leading associates and again laid detailed plans for civil disobedience if he should not return. If he is not returning, again there will be certain plan was there. He arranged, he made all kinds of plan. Okay, with those eminent people, with those Rajendra Prasad and influential friends. Okay, so he arranged all the things and then he went for the meeting. Gandhi had 4 protected interviews with the Lieutenant Governor, who as a result appointed an official commission of inquiry into the Indigo sharecroppers situation. Means as per the 4 protected interviews, means 4 times they went for different shape. First interview they sat together, again there was a gap, they again sat together, third time, fourth time. Okay, and after that the result was that the commission was set, okay, for the Indigo sharecroppers situation, for their situation. In that commission, who were there? The commission consists of landlords, okay, then government officials, and Gandhi as a sole representative of peasants. This was the committee or commission formed by the 4 protected meeting, and the Lieutenant Governor framed a commission. Official commission was set up. Understood, students, till here? Now what happened? Let's see. Gandhiji remained in Champaran for an initial uninterrupted period of 7 months, and then again for several shorter visits, then after again for shorter visits. The visit undertaken casually on the entreaty of an unlettered peasants in the expectation that it would last a few days, occupied almost a year of Gandhi's life. What happened? Students, try to understand here. So Champaran, Gandhi remained in Champa for initial uninterrupted period of 7 months. It's for continued for 7 months he spent in Champaran. Then again after for several short visits, after that short visit for short gap, he went to his native place. The visit undertaken casually on the entreaty of unlettered peasants in the expectation that it would last for a few days. And he thought that without informing, he was going immediately back to his place, and again he was coming back. And that he thought that this expectation going, and after coming back, the connections will slowly decrease, and these people will be settling down with their problems. Occupied almost a year of Gandhi's life. These event remain in the Gandhi's life for years, and he was thinking that small period, but it remained for years. It took for years, and his connection was for years. The official inquired assembled a crushing mountain of evidence against the British big planters. Okay, about the big planters, official gather lots of information. When they saw this, they agreed in principle. When they saw this, they agreed in principle. What was the principle here? Okay, to refund, to make a refund, and they asked Gandhi, okay, but how much we must pay? They asked Gandhi. Okay, so now they agreed there is a problem, and they asked Gandhi to do the refund and how much they must pay for the refund. So they thought he would demand repayment in full of the money which they had illegally or deceitfully extorted from the sharecroppers. He asked only 50%. So they thought he will be asking all the money what illegally they have taken from sharecroppers. But what was the Gandhi's demand? Gandhi only demanded 50%. There he seemed adamant. He was very much adamant. He was very much bold. He was very much strict with his words. Here the man who was observing, writes Reverend J, who was a British missionary Champaran, in the Champaran, who observed the entire episode at close range. So he is writing that Gandhi was quite adamant, quite strict, quite bold, and this man writes in his episodes in his book about Gandhiji. Thinking probably that he would not give way, the representative of planters offered to refund to the extent of 25%. And to his amazement, Mr. Gandhi took him at his word, thus breaking the deadlock. So what happened? So here, what happened? Thinking probably that he would not give way, the representative of planter offered to refund the extent of 25%. So Gandhi demanded for 50 and they said it would. They'll be giving 25%. And to his amazement, Mr. Gandhi took him at his word. He took it as his word. He accepted, yes, if you're paying 25%, no issue. Thus breaking the deadlock. There was some suspense were there. Okay, some suspense was there for them. He accepted 25% and some clause were there. What was the clause? Let's see, students. This settlement was adopted unanimously by the commission. Gandhi explained that the amount of the refund was less important. Okay, Gandhi explained that the amount of the refund was less important than the fact that landlords had been obliged to surrender part of the money and with it part of their prestige. Okay, so Gandhiji demanded that I am not worried, I am not concerned about the money. You pay 25%, but at the same time, you pay the part of their prestige, what you have hampered to them. Is it possible? Can you pay kindness? Can you pay help? Means, and can you give a part of their prestige, what someone has taken, snatched it back? As we do the take and give money like thing, goods like thing, it is not those things can be taken or given, but it should become in the act. You should show kindness, you should show love, you should show your help, okay, to others. Same way the prestige here should be coming from them, inner part for these people. Therefore, as the peasants were concerned, the planters have behaved as lords. So as the planters have been behaved as lords. As far as the peasants were concerned, the planters have behaved, they have always behaved as a lord, like a god, like a superior and above the law. They have always been above the law. Now the peasants saw that he had rights and defense. Now peasants, what they saw, they have their rights and defenders, they can stand. And he learned courage and he made them learn courage. So now these people started revenging. They started revenge to ask to stand against Britishers. And now what was the Gandhi's motto? He did it. Okay. And he did it. Events justified Gandhi's position. Within a few years, the British planters abandoned their estates. So they restricted, they stopped their estates, what they have snatched from the Indian farmers, what they have taken the Indian farmers' land, they have abandoned, they have restricted, and they made it free from those systems, which reverted to the peasants. Okay, which reverted to the peasants, they returned it back to the peasants. Indigo sharecropping disappeared, and after that, the indigo sharecropping also disappeared. Gandhi never contended. I hope students you understood till here. Okay, so what happened here next? See, Gandhi never contended himself with a large political or economical solution. Never involved himself in politics or economic benefit for him. He saw the cultural and social. backwardness in Champaran village and wanted to do something immediately. So he understood what is the high need, what is the high time for these Champaran people. So he did it immediately. He appealed for teachers, Mahadev Desai and Narharik Parikh, two young men who had just joined Gandhi as a disciple. Okay, and they voluntarily ready to serve as a teacher. And same wise, the wife volunteered for the work, and their wife also joined for the voluntary for the help. Several more came from the Bombay, Pune and other distant part of the land. Devdas, Gandhi's youngest son, arrived from the ashram. So did Mrs. Gandhi. Primary schools were opened for the 6 villages. Kasturabai taught the ashram rules on the personal cleanliness and community sanitization. Okay, see the Gandhi intention, Gandhi's behavior, Gandhi's system. He did not focus for his benefit. He is focusing for the community's development. He is focusing for the people's development. He is thinking for the development for all. Okay, and what was his motto of giving? The education. Then he's thinking for the environment, how their environment, their personal cleaning, personal sanitization and community sanitization, what community should be developed, he's thinking for that. Okay, students? Okay, students, you can see here the way of Gandhiji, how Gandhiji is behaving, how Gandhiji is an important person for the development of Champaran at the present day. When you can see, if the Champaran people, the poor people are in a safe, man who is the one behind them is Gandhi. Okay, so now see his treatment. He's looking to the individual, the society. He's not thinking about his own benefit. He's thinking for the community development. So now he's looking for the health. Okay, health conditions were miserable during that time. Gandhiji got a doctor to volunteer their service for 6 months. Okay, so he bought a doctor who can volunteer for 6 months. 3 medicines were available: castor oil, quinine and sulfur ointment. These 3 medicines were available. Okay, olive oil we can say related to that kind, or we can say that that oil extracted from the leaves and all those kind of oils were available. Castor oil, that was there, the quinine and sulfur ointment, these were there available for giving to the patients. Anybody who showed a coated tongue was given a dose of castor oil. You might see we say ghee, we burn and we melt it and we apply on your mouth. Ghee, what we can say, we melt it and we apply in our mouth when there's a dose or there's something happens in our mouth also we can talk. It is still a home remedy for the people or old people. Still they take this kind of measures when we suffer from this kind of problem. So anybody with malaria fever received a quinine plus castor oil, quinine and plus castor oil, malaria fever. And anybody with a skin eruption received ointment plus castor oil. Some ointment was there for skin problem and castor oil, the same was the common medicine, was used in a different way. Okay, and that was the Gandhi system for the developing of that area. Next, Gandhi noticed the filthy state of women's cloth, and now coming to the individual, marking each and everything. He asked Kasturabai to talk to them about it. One woman took Kasturabai into her hut and said, "Look, there is no box or cupboard here for clothes. The sari I am wearing is the only one I have." See the men's poverty condition. See the poor, how in the which state of poor they are. See, understand. See, Ms. Gandhi has looked into that level and even served for them. So during his long stay in Champaran, Gandhi kept a long distance watch on ashram. He was in Champaran for years. He spent them, recovered, he updated those areas, and he went back to his own place. He sent regular instructions by mail and asked for financial accounts. Once he wrote to the residents that it was time to fill in the old latrine trench, dig new one, otherwise the old ones would begin to smell bad. So during that time, he was very much conscious. He has developed the modern system where the dung of will be used or will be kept in a different tank. Okay, so similarly here he has done in that time. Okay, and as the present day, still some in the villages in rural area, yet they have not developed in our areas. If you talk about Bihar, in Odisha, some rural areas still exist. They have a different use of letters, or they don't have a proper lettering also. Okay, so that's why in those times you can see his focus of developing our community. The Champan episode was a turning point in Gandhiji's life. It was a turning point. It was the beginning of the revolt against Britishers. What I did, he explained, was a very ordinary thing. See, he did not do this ordinary man. See, this is an extraordinary man doing something ordinary thing. Means in an extraordinary way. He's answering that it's a very ordinary thing. I have done nothing. See the attitude. See the what means softness inside the man. Okay, I declared that British could not order me about in my own country, and see that the British could not order me about in my own country. See the peaceful condition. See, if you are the owner of your house, your friend cannot come and order in your house. Come on. Okay, so similar, some neighbors, some enemy, or some different person cannot order. So we are Indians, it's our home, some XYZ person cannot come and do it. So that was the way of Gandhiji. Okay, I hope all of you understood till here. Next, but Champan did not bring as act of defiance. It grew out of an attempt to alleviate the distress of large number of poor peasants. This was the typical Gandhi pattern. His politics were intertwined with practical, day-to-day problems of millions. He was not a loyalty to abstraction. It was a loyalty to living human beings. Yes, students, it's fact. Gandhiji's philosophy, Gandhiji's life, Gandhiji's work, Gandhiji's doing, it's an example for each and everyone. If you'll go Gandhiji's system of education, there's so many books still taught in the part of education. When someone is getting bachelor degree, the philosophy of Gandhi is must one will read, because his philosophy is the beginning or is the pillars of education. Okay, so similar in psychology, in logic, in philosophy, everywhere if you go, Gandhiji has given his contribution. If you go to law, we will find Gandhiji. So he's a man with extraordinary qualities. Okay, he's a man who is responsible for soul freedom of our India. So that it's a typical Gandhi pattern. His politics are intertwined with the practical, in a practical way. We are able to see day-to-day problems for millions are dealt. He was a loyalty to abstraction. No, it was not a wrong concept. He was not a loyalty to abstraction. It was a loyalty to living. It's an example for us. We should take the law, which we should take the steps of Gandhiji for living. If we'll take it, definitely it will be in a site of good state. In everything Gandhi did, moreover, he tried to mold a new free Indian who could stand on his own feet and thus make India free. So he molded, he's made it people stand together, united people together, they can stand on their feet for free India. Early in Champaran action, Charles Freer Andrews. So another character comes here. Charles Freer Andrews, the English pacifist, who is therefore he's working for the peace of the country. Okay, Charles Freer Andrews, who peacemaker. So he had become a devoted follower of Mahatma. So he staying in India, and he has become a follower of Mahatma. Came to bid Gandhi farewell before going on a tour of duty to Fiji Island. To Fiji Island, before Gandhiji was going there, so he was there to bid farewell, to Tata bye-bye before going to Fiji Island. Gandhiji's lawyer friends thought it would be a good idea for Andrew to stay in Champaran with help them. So they thought that he was the follower of Gandhi, he was a lover of Gandhi, he accepted the path of Gandhi, and so they thought that he'll stay in the place of Gandhi. It will be best for them. So Gandhi, but what happened here? See the scene different. Gandhi's treatment again. So Andrew to stay in Champaran and help them. Andrew was willing if Gandhi agreed. Means Andrew was ready to join. Andrew was ready to take the place of Gandhi if Gandhi would have given the permission. But Gandhi was vehement. Gandhi was very much aggressive and opposed this. Strictly opposed this. He said, "You think that in this unequal fight, in this unequal fight. Okay, this unequal fight means British and Indian, the unequal fight, it would be helpful if we have an Englishman on our side. Okay, we are revolting English people and one Englishman will be in our team. So this shows the weakness of our heart. This shows the weakness of our heart. We have Englishmen in our heart, and then there will be something different. Okay, the cause is just, and you must rely upon yourself to win the battle. You must rely upon yourself to win the battle, not on that people. So he developed about self-reliance. He motivated self-sufficient, self-independent, self-capable. Okay, they do your own work. Okay, self-reliance. He motivated this idea of self-reliance. Understood, everyone, students? So this cause is just, you must rely upon yourself to win the battle. You should not seek a prop in Andrews because he happens to be an Englishman. You should not take help of Andrew as he's an Englishman. He had read our minds correctly. Rajendra Prasad. Comments, and we had no reply. Gandhi in this way taught us a lesson in self-reliance. In this way, Gandhi has taught a lesson in self-reliance. Okay, students, in this way, Gandhi taught them a lesson of self-reliance. Self-reliance, Indian independence, and help to sharecroppers were all bound together. This was the beginning steps for Gandhi to take towards the Indian independence. And by this, all were together. By this, all were together. Understood, all of you? By this, the chapter comes to an end. So it's how important the biography of Gandhi. It's a chapter how touching to us. British has written the biography of Gandhi, and still touching. One Indian will write or some autobiography. If you'll get it, definitely do read it. And he's a man to be relied ever, ever, ever. Means ever you can see, you can read it. It will be helpful for us. So this is all about Gandhi. That Indigo, we are getting message from it. So that's the end of our chapter. That's the end of today's class. Thank you, students. Just wait for the recapitulation class, where after recapitulation, I'll be going for question answer discussion. Then I'll be giving you the questions for practice. These are text questions. You can take the text questions. It's there. Understanding text, and some other questions are there here in the text. This think as you read. Short questions. If you want, students, you may go for the writing. Do go for practice and write and show me. Okay. Here talking about the text. Okay. Here are the few questions. 4 and here to 6. And there few questions are there, 4 to 8 questions are there. So like that, it's total 10 to 12 questions already here in the text. Definitely go for practice. And after that, when I'll go for the recapitulation session, you must attend, and you must, and we'll discuss the questions. Few questions from the text, and a few questions extra questions I'll bring for you, and you'll enjoy that. Thank you, students. And it's a remind again at the end before taking shine out. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. The new users, those are watching it, and just don't forget to like my videos, share and share as much as possible. Thank you and bye-bye. Good night.